사시
부기주심의 도처럼 위라빈시인대 겐바이 상계 신두 밑에 우와기 조큰 남다 신라 주파쇼 이랑 구루라나 만달라 캄비야 타야미
상계
주당 소기 조남라 장슈바두 다니 겹수시 다기 춘행 기배 수남기 조라 펜실 상계 주파쇼
상계
주당 소기 조남라 장슈바두 다니 겹수시 다기 춘행 기배 수남기 조라 펜실 상계 주파쇼
상계
주당 소기 조남라 장슈바두 다니 겹수시 다기 춘행 기배 수남기 조라 펜실 상계 주파쇼
Okay. We were talking about who can give vows to novice monks and nuns. And they had supposed to have 13 qualities, which are called the 13 completing qualities or something. Filler-upper qualities. Karkom. Which in philosophy means like an appendix which completes a work or something like that. It's called a karkom. And then there's supposed to be 13 qualities of karkom. And then there's supposed to be 2 qualities called stable and wise, stable and trained. I didn't have time to go get them for you, and I'd rather take my time and go get them, in a nice way. I could do the research here with you, and it would take a long time. You would lose your whole hours, so I'd rather do it at home, because I can do it faster on my own. And I'm just going to go on, okay? But you have to remind me that I owe you these 13 and these 2. Okay. So here we go.
They are reminding.
Yeah. Okay, read, and I'll yell at you.
Okay.
Not that.
Dilaya.
Not ndi.
Huh?
Ndi. Yeah, ndila.
Dilayang Tok Mara Chu Yong
Chun.
Chun Yong
Gu. Chungu. La.
Chungula
Yeah.
Deyam Som Pa
Pa.
Pa
Pa.
Pa
Not pa. Pa.
Pa
Maybe you don't have that sound in Chinese?
Pa okay Pa yeah
As opposed to pa. Yeah. Pa.
Som Pa Yap Pa
Kewa.
Kewa
Kewa.
Kewa Dang
Tang.
Tang Na
Nepa.
Nepa Dang Tang
Zepa.
Zepa Tang Kyap
Kepa.
Kepa Dua
Gyurwe.
Gyowe
Parchita.
Pachita Mi
Min Gyurwa.
Mingyowa Chi
Shik.
Shi
Gope.
Gope
Okay. Mingyur is a common Kagyu name, I think. Yeah. And in East Tibet, the Gya becomes Ja, like conjure. So the first Westerners to meet Tibetans were in East Tibet, and they started spelling conjure, and it became very common. But that's like trying to talk to somebody that talks like that, and it's not a normal Tibetan. So don't get confused when people say conjure. So danger. These are just from one little place in Tibet where they talk like that. Okay. So they say Mingyur Dorje, but this is Mingyur. Okay. De Layan Tokmar Rabtu Chung Gula. When you make somebody, when you ordain somebody as a novice monk or nun, okay, Dila means when you do that, Tokmar, first you have to Rabtuchung.
Leave the household.
Corruption.
Yeah, they have to leave the home life. So there's 2 steps. You take a ceremony to leave the home life, which in English we can say get ordained, and then you have to take your vows. So first you have to commit to leave the home life, and then you have to commit to take these new vows. Okay, so in the ceremony of making a novice monk or nun, first you have to Rabchung. What Rabtuchung means really came out. Really came out. Okay, and it means ordain. You know, leave the home life. Kimbale Rabtuchung. Leave the home life. Okay, leave the family life. Dean domba kiwa dan nepa dan zeba dan kepetu kiwi pache dumingyo ashikope. And for that, okay, for a Rabchung, you need somebody, shik good, you need somebody, okay, a person, shik. So chik means one in Tibetan, but shik also means a. You need a person who doesn't have parches.
Obstacles.
Okay, parche means obstacles. Okay, parche. It literally means interruption, but it means obstacle. Okay. You need a person who doesn't have obstacles to 4 things. Okay, they shouldn't have obstacles to 4 things about their vows. You see, here's vows, Domba. Okay, we had Sakmeki Domba in Stanley's text. No,
No.
Sugeng's text. No,
Oh.
no, Stanley's text. Sakmeki Domba.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, self-control of
Yeah.
Vinaya. And we had Samtenki Domba.
Self-control, which comes from the fact of meditating.
Meditation. And then we have Sotaki Domba.
Pratimoksha.
Pratimoksha.
Here we're talking about Pratimoksha vows. Okay. In order to get their vows, in order for 4 things to happen about their vows, they shouldn't have obstacles. Okay. Number 1, Gyewa.
If to be born?
No, the vows.
Oh,
You have to take
Yeah,
form.
for the vows to grow, for the vows to form, they shouldn't have certain obstacles. If you have certain obstacles, even if someone give you the ceremony, they won't grow.
yeah.
Okay, so it means grow. Okay, so for the vows to grow, okay, for the vows to stay, nepa, after they grow. Okay, it's like you plant a watermelon, and for it to stay growing after it opens, it's like a plant. Okay, zepa means for it to get beautiful, for the vows to get beautiful. Okay, zepa. Okay. And then kepa, for them to be outstanding. Okay. Special. Cool.
Oh, a special.
Super cool.
Special.
Okay. So now he's talking about 4 steps in the progression of vows. Number 1,
To go.
grow. Number 2,
Stay.
stay. Number 3,
Get
get beautiful, sexy. Number 4,
Outstanding.
super
Outstanding.
sexy. Okay. So that means you keep them so well that people are like, wow, you're really cool. Okay. So to get those 4 things to happen about your dombas, about your vow, you have to, you have to not have parches. Meaning, before you start to take the vows, there are certain conditions that you shouldn't have. And he's going to give you a list. Okay. By the way, dom pa means vow. Dom means sexual organ.
Oh, right.
So be careful.
Same spelling?
Male or female, same spelling.
Wow, interesting.
Okay, so you gotta say pa. Don't go saying, did you take the dome? And they're gonna
Oh, yeah.
So you take a dome?
Yesterday we had tricky dome shoot.
Me don't know.
That's
Right.
vowels. So
Dom.
Right.
Bus dome. Okay, so don't worry about that.
Home dome.
I'm just saying, be careful about dome. Say dome bar.
Dom pa.
Dome bar.
Dom pa.
All right.
Spanish.
Therefore, the Kembo, here's Kembo. Therefore,
Yeah, the vowel giver, vowel
yeah,
master.
in Vinaya, we translate Kembo as
Abbot.
vow giver.
Vow giver.
The person who gives the vows. Right? Abbot means the boss of a monastery. That's not what it means in Vinaya. Okay. Kembo in Vinaya means the person who gave you your vows. Okay. And when you put an instrumental on it, on any noun, it becomes the
Doer, the
in
agent.
English,
The agent. The
the
agent.
subject of the sentence. Okay. John went to the store. John.
Right.
In Tibetan, you have to say, "By John."
Store
By
was
John,
gone.
the store was gone to.
By John, the store.
So when you see an S, that's going to be the subject of the sentence. Go there first, because English syntax, subject first. John went to the store. Okay, so go to the S first. The vow giver must do
Clean, immaculate, like.
Yeah. They must question, they must ask.
Yeah, they must
Oh, yeah.
ask.
Yeah.
Do you have any of these parches? Do you have any of these
Obstacles.
obstacles, impediments to ordination? Do you have any of these obstacles to ordination? Who should they ask? To the Drupja.
To the vow
The
taker.
job.
Yeah, Drupja means the one who is to be made, meaning the person taking the vows. So we're going to translate it as the person or candidate is a good translation.
Candidate.
In English, we say candidate for the vows. You see, they want to be. They're like election candidate. They say, "I want to take vows." So in English, vow giving, even in Christian, even in Christian religion, we call them candidate. So the vow giver must ask the candidate about these. Do you have these obstacles, which would prevent the vows from growing,
Growing,
Stay
staying.
beautiful
Yeah.
and
getting
really
beautiful,
special.
and getting super special? Okay. And he has a second job. He or she is supposed to ask the candidate, "Do you have these obstacles?" And they're supposed to date. Okay. Date or date. Yeah, da means an expression, and te means to introduce somebody. Datupa means to give, and take him and do. Te machun.
He didn't give.
He
He gave
didn't
a
give
little
me.
bit.
Okay, so in modern colloquial Tibetan, te means jin,
Okay.
to give.
Cool.
Okay, te machun. I didn't get. He never gave it to me. I swear.
Oh,
The
my
money we were talking about, it keeps bothering me. Let's investigate further. It's somewhere. I gave it to somebody. This is like 5 years ago. Anyway, it looks bad. I don't know. Okay, datepa. So date in Vinaya means introduce someone to a subject.
Should
Give
explain
them the
vows.
word. Give them the word. It means introduce them to a subject. Okay. That's a Vinaya. Vinaya has its own language. Logic has its own language. Lower middle way has its own language. Upper middle way has its own language. Mind only has its own language. Abhidharma definitely has its own language. There's about Tantra has its own language. There's about 7 separate languages you have to learn. If you want to write a letter, there's an epistolary language.
Wow.
You know, and if you want to speak to a lama as opposed to your friend, there's an honorific language, and then there's a high honorific language if you're talking to Mr. Anyway. Okay, okay, so there's about 9 languages you have to learn, and I can teach all of them to you. I have them all, but you have to stay here.
You have to
And to learn all of them is cool. Okay, to learn all of them is cool, and I can teach you, but you need to. You got to work hard. It's not easy, or you become a Vinaya specialist, and you can't read logic. Okay, here we go. Dutadana Kema Bachatiwa. Korwe Nyemik. What's wrong with samsara? Okay, Nyemik means disadvantages, problems. I like to translate it as problems. Nyemik, it has nothing to do with mikpa as to focus, as in meditation. Mikme, tsewe, techen, same spelling. It has nothing to do with it. Nyemik means see bad. It means problems. You know, what's the problems? What kind of problems are going to happen if I do this? You know, here's the problems that are going to happen. What's the opinions I'm going to get if I do it? Okay, yeah. So opinion is the opposite of nyemik, and they are often found in the same sentence. Okay, what are the problems of samsara, and what are the opinions of tarpa?
Liberation.
Moksha, freedom. Okay, freedom. Okay, so the abbot really has. The vow giver has two jobs. Number one,
check the disciple, check the candidate.
Do you have, here's a certain number of obstacles. If you have any of them, you cannot take ordination. For example, if you have been drafted into the army and you are trying to avoid the draft, you're not allowed to become a monk. Or if you have serious debt, you're not allowed to.
But if you've been drafted and you're not looking to...
No, it's that the monasteries didn't want the king's people coming and pulling people out of the monastery. They just said, you work that out and then you come. You go work it out, then you come. If your parents haven't given permission, you go work on it. These are paches, okay? And we'll get to them.
Had sex change 3 times.
That's after we took the vow.
Okay.
You also can't take them if you don't.
Korwe Nyemik, that type of opinion. So 2 jobs the vow giver has. Check for obstacles. And then give a lecture about, look, you're going to get out of samsara and you're going to go to freedom. If you don't take these vows, you're going to stuck in samsara. And I often tell people, when I took my monk's vows, and I went upstairs to give Rinpoche his tea, which was my job, he said, sit down. You know, and I'm like, okay. And he said, now you have a chance. I was like, wow. You know, and that's all. He just said, now you have a real chance to get enlightened. You know, and I was like, wow. Okay. He just said it like in his way. Now you got a chance. You know, so it was cool. So they tell you stuff like that, okay? Which is that second job. Okay, here we go.
The lekpar, excuse me, usually lekpar is modifying opinion
I'm sorry?
or
What's that?
job.
Oh, they must do a good job of introducing you. Yeah, thoroughly go through the problems of samsara. That's the lekpar. What's the most famous lekpa in Buddhist literature?
So in the Heart Sutra.
Essence of Eloquence?
Lexo.
Yeah.
Good. So lekpa means well. They have to do a thorough job of telling you about the problems of samsara and what's good things gonna happen to you. Okay. These are all things that have to happen. Okay. Then, because of the little lecture they got, the candidate must the vow giver is supposed to get jukpa in Vinaya means get them to do something. In modern colloquial,
Enter.
chukpa.
Chupa.
BCUG.
BCU.
Chukpa. Kola Dro Chuk, he got me to go. Dro Chuksha. He got me to go. Okay, Sa Chuksha. He got me to eat something. So Chuk. But in colloquial, in Vinaya, Juk. You know, literally lead them. Okay? So that it's the abbot's, it's the vow giver's job to make thoughts of renunciation come up in their mind. To inspire in them, inspire in them thoughts of renunciation. Yeah, I should leave the home life. There's no future. I will make a family, I will lose it. I will have a husband, I will lose him. I will have a house, I will lose it. I have a body, I will lose it. You know, so he's supposed to cater to, you know, give it up, man. Genjung means renunciation, right? Or what do you call tired? Tired of something. I'm tired of you talking like that. You know, what do you call that? It's not disgust. Disgust is too strong.
Exasperated?
It's not as weak as exasperation.
Somewhere in
Between exasperation and disgust. Healthy.
Distaste.
Huh?
Distaste.
That's pretty good, yeah. Distaste. Okay. Anyway, renunciation. Thoughts of renunciation. Inspire them to have thoughts of renunciation. And then, what happens next? And there's the vow we had. It was one of the 13 vows we had. It was one of the 3 failures.
Right. Do what they say.
No. Sulwan.
Oh, supplicate.
Yeah, they're supposed to supplicate. Please be my abbot.
Oh, I don't remember.
Will you be my vow giver? The candidate has to ask. Kemba Suda. Why the R?
To the abbot. To
Yeah,
the vow giver.
no.
Oh,
Will you be as my abbot?
oh,
Will you serve as my
Oh,
abbot?
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Ask them to serve as. It's the Demi grammar term in Tibetan.
Yeah.
We elected him as president. Sin Sin Du. Wunda. Okay. Kemba Suwa Tapadan. What happens next? We had it. Wait. We had it in words text.
My text in the beginning.
Tsupu.
Supuchen. We had
Oh.
Supuchen. Shikandi.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The flame on the
So this has to do.
Mm.
Good for you.
No, it didn't mean
It's a
flame.
top knot.
oh, meant peacock.
Crest.
Yeah, peacock. Crest.
And then, okay, crest.
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 Okay. So here it means the hair in the middle of your head. This
Colic?
hair. This hair here.
What are you talking about?
This hair.
No, he
Check
waited
means
this
to
morning.
cut off. Check means to shave, to snip off. Check. You have to check the tsupu.
Check.
So they always leave a little hair here. They shave the head. They leave some hair here.
A tuft.
And because it's too messy to shave the whole head during the ceremony.
No,
Okay, so they shave the whole head except for they leave some hair here. And then in the ceremony they just snip a few hairs off. Okay. That's called super check.
Just put here, just
Check.
Can you just say hair? If you want to just.
I would say tuft of hair in the middle or something. Good luck.
at the crown?
So in the ancient days, supu meant the prince had long hair and tie it up like this. And it was the royalty had supu.
Sanskrit for
And
man bun.
the bad guy in the Wheel of Life story is called Supuchen, Shikandi.
Shikandi?
He had this hair tied up, but in the ceremony of a novice monk or nun, it just means the few hairs that you leave to cut. So it's up to you how you translate it. True J means you're supposed to then water the plate. You're supposed to take some water and rub it here. I guess it's because it'll dry out, or I don't know. But you do the water first because it's easier to cut the hair.
Oh, right, yeah.
So you have a bowl of water and you wet the hair and then you can cut it easier. But so truche means wash that area. Literally, it means wash that area. So you can say that. Cut the tuft and wash the head. So okay. So you're learning. Your Tibetan's going to be weird because you're just going to know Vinaya words. You look like you could use some tuft cutting and bald spot washing. Okay, something like that. Okay. Kembu shabla tuk. This is a verb related to tuk.
What did you
We just talked about tuk as in gel.
Oh, to me?
Yeah, to meet. So, and here it means to touch.
Prostrate?
Touch the
feet of your abbot, of the vow giver?
touch the feet of the vow giver. It means you touch their feet. Namas, right? Namaste. And you touch their feet. Okay. Tuk means touch. Touch their feet so shab can mean leg or it can mean feet. Here it means feet. Okay. Touch their feet and then chaksa.
Prostrate.
Prostrated. Juk.
Get them to.
Yeah, nice. Get them to. You see, it means the abbot has to say, now bow down to me. And now, now touch my feet and bow down. Okay? So the sentence means, it doesn't mean touch the Bhagavar's feet and do prostration. It means get them to touch your feet and do prostration. Or get them to do a prostration where they touch your feet. That's what it really means. Okay. Okay. Simultaneous. Duk and chak. Okay. So tepa is an unusual verb. It means to direct your thoughts. In the study of Sem Semchum, it means it means to direct the attention. But here it means to turn over stuff they're going to need as a monk or a nun. So it means to, hand over. Tepa here means hand over. The yoche. Yoche means necessary articles. The stuff they're going to need. Yoche means the articles or the things which a monk or a nun needs. Okay, stuff that they need. It's called yoche. Yeah, it's an unusual word. Yeah, it means stuff you need. It's commonly used for the yoche you need for a trip, for example.
The necessaries.
The stuff you're going to need for a trip.
Pertinence.
Yoche. Okay.
Cool.
And this is BYAD, so don't mistake it for BYED. Okay. This is very rare. BYED is to do, but BYAD is rather rare.
Is it related to BYA, like object? Like
It's probably somehow. I'll talk. I mean, there's a chashin, which means a reflection in a mirror. That's another story. So okay, don't worry about it. So you have to hand over to them. Here's your
cushion.
lagu. Here's your upper robe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lower robe.
Here's your tunga.
Your lower robe.
Here's your lower robe. Okay. Here's your dingwa.
Your cushion.
Dingwa is this cloth that monks and nuns are supposed to sit on. Square cloth.
The one you use when you do the
Yeah.
boundary.
That's called a dingwa. Yeah. Probably in ancient times it was a mat. It was a cushion. But nowadays it's just a ceremonial cloth. It lost its function.
It's lost.
But if you show up in the monastery without your dingwa at a meeting, at a puja, you're in trouble. You'll get kicked out. Okay.
Wow.
And it's just ceremonial, you just put it down there and you sit on it, and then when you get up you take it. It doesn't do anything. It's not a dinjin nupa.
Keep your butt warm.
It doesn't even do that, it's just thin, And then it has a certain fold, it has to face a certain way. And it's complicated. Anyway, in the old days it was probably a functional seat, Dingwa. Sungse, what's Sungse?
Begging bowl.
Yeah, Rinpoche didn't
Sage's
like to
bowl?
call it, he called it Sage's bowl.
Sage's bowl.
He objected to calling it a
Begging.
begging bowl. Although bhikshu means beggar, and beg comes from bhiksh. But anyway. Chutsa?
Your water strainer.
Yeah, how come you know this stuff?
Teaching ACI 9 at
Chutsak means a water strainer. What's the function of a water strainer?
When you
get
drink
bugs
water in
out
the
so you don't
forest.
kill them.
Yeah, you should strain your water so you don't kill small bugs. You're supposed to carry it with you. So you don't drink water that has small bugs in it. Okay, Chutsak. Dan chepa means along with, right? So you should have your upper robe, your lower robe, your ceremonial seat, your sage's bowl, along with your strainer. Okay, so dan chepa means along with, But in a list in Tibet, it comes after the last thing. In English, it comes just before the last thing. Okay, along with your strainer.
So you put in the end.
Yeah, in Tibetan they say after the last thing.
Okay.
Okay, so it's confusing.
Okay.
It's a little confusing. So think of it as coming just before that word, along with your strainer. Okay. So they hand you all those things. Then they the vow giver means to grant vows, to give vows, N-O-D. Okay, it's not related to G-N-O-D, which means to hurt somebody. That's n. This is n.
No.
There's an
No.
S-N-O-D, snut,
Content?
which means the vessel, which is close.
Oh, yeah, the first
Yeah. So this n is a verb that only comes in Vinaya. You will never see it anywhere else. And it means to give someone vows. Okay? To grant. In English we say grant vows. Okay.
So we don't see it in Tantra.
No. Well, you could.
Or any form.
It's possible. I think it's possible. You could find it in the Bodhisattva laws too. So anyway, you know the morality of a person who has left the home life. You grant them the commitments of morality for a person who has left the home life. They are not a novice monk yet. First you give them you make them commit to the morality of a person who has left the home life, which is basically not to commit those 3 nyambas. But we'll get there. What were the 3?
What, not take...
To give up the appearance of a lay person,
Yeah.
to take on the appearance of an ordained person
Good.
and something else.
To listen to your Kempo.
Yeah.
I always
Well, we don't.
Convenient.
Yeah, okay. But just before you give them those commitments, morality,
Give them refuge.
they should go for refuge. Okay? Kyapsu do, ngundu do. So, ngundu do means preceded by. Preceded by. Okay? That's like mundro, preliminary practices. That's mundro. Okay? This is the full form, mundu doa. Okay? So you should, first they should go for refuge. Sage chodan, soki chodan, okay? And then they can take their commitments for leaving the home life. Okay? Then they will agree to Kelen. They will agree to give up Bangwa, the 3, what did we call them?
Obstacles.
No.
I don't remember.
I had a good word yesterday. It starts with a D.
Defeats.
Mean to give away.
deeds.
Done very cheap.
Failures. Yeah, I'm sorry, with failure. The 3 failures. Okay. They have to agree to give up the 3 failures. Fail to dress as a monk or nun. Fail to not dress as a lay person. And fail to have a proper relationship with your vow giver. Okay. They have to commit. Kelen, they must agree to avoid or give up the 3 failures. Now, the vow giver should datrapa,
Tell them.
introduce them to, okay, acquaint them with, lekpa,
Well,
okay, acquaint them very well with, or introduce them to the 3 transformations, jewa. So this is dakshin nyamje, switch out,
Exchange. Yeah.
the exchange, okay? We have it in exchange self and others, jewa. So they have to commit them, they have to acquaint them with the meaning then of the three transformations. Okay, then he has them here. He lists them here.
Mm.
You're gonna transform your sampa,
Mine?
the way you think.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to have a whole new way of thinking,
Mm.
and your thought.
Your appearance?
Yeah, your appearance. Good.
Uh-huh.
Be careful, because thought can mean dom.
Right. Right. Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're not changing thought
Your
here.
genitalia.
Yeah, we're not changing.
Especially
So
free
dom
time,
and
yeah.
talk in logic means a good reason,
Reason.
right? Talk can also mean sexual organ, meaning sign of your sex,
Gender.
of your gender. So be careful with talk. We're not changing that talk here. Okay, this talk means how you look on the outside. How do you look on the outside? But there is in Vinaya changing of the sexual organ talk. Okay, and
Okay,
so
that's the word they use.
yeah, so be careful. This one doesn't refer to that.
Oh.
This is changing your outer appearance
Mm.
and your name. You're gonna have a new name. Okay, and they misspelled J here.
Mm.
Okay, so I fixed it.
Maybe it's related to Chinese Ming.
Mingzi.
Means
Okay.
yeah,
So-
that's 名字.
Rapchungi Choga. You just wouldn't say Rapchungi Chog. Somebody mistyped it. Okay.
Sorry.
You only shorten Choga to choke in a two-syllable word.
Well,
You see? Okay. So it's not. It shouldn't have been shortened here. Choga. Choga means ritual. Okay, that ritual, choga, for making the person ordained. Okay, leave the home life. I got yawns going all the way down. It's like a virus.
really spread. It's a weird form.
I got one here too. Okay, the ritual. If you think it's bad now, wait for a couple of days. The ritual for making them a rabjung. You should do it as it is stated, sumbatar, as it is described in the Duedo.
Vinaya Sutra.
Vinaya Vastu?
The
Vinaya
Vinaya,
Sutra.
well, this is Vinaya Sutra of
Guna
Guna Prabha.
Guna Prabha.
Oh.
So this is a famous Indian master who lived 500 AD. Who wrote a book called Vinaya Sutra, which is not a
Sutra.
sutra. It wasn't spoken by Buddha, but it's called Duedo.
对
Vinaya Sutra. And it's the standard for all Vinaya practices. We don't use the Vinaya Vastu or works like that. We use the Vinaya Sutra. It's the standard that you have to follow. And it's the book you memorize for Vinaya in the Geshe course.
Oh.
You don't memorize some sutras. You don't memorize anything from the Kagya. You memorize this Tingyo text, which is the Vinaya Sutra, which is a summary of all the Vinaya books. Vinaya books are massive, 4,000 pages to start with. So we need Vinaya Sutra, which is in verse, memorizable.
Mm.
Okay, so Duedo and Gongja.
Commentary.
What's a Gongja?
Commentary.
Huh? Yeah, commentary on the true thought. Okay. Okay. So Gong means what they really had in mind. So Gongdal is a synonym for Delpa. You know, what did they have in mind? Comment on what they had in mind. So you can translate this as commentary, or you can try to catch the Gong a little more. You know, like commentary on what it meant. But then he wants to say not just any commentary, it should be a Senden commentary.
Classical or?
Not a
What?
Senden means authoritative.
Yeah, one that gets it.
Authoritative. Okay? Correct. Sema dandemba.
Oh.
Pramanic. Okay? Meaning it should be authoritative. Authentic. But this more means authority. Authoritative. It's not. It's not a bad commentary. It's a correct commentary. So tsenden is a very strict word. Tsenden always means the best of the best. Most corrected the correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can
Some
have
of them did well.
forfeit.
So you better you better conduct that ceremony in accordance with the Vinaya Sutra and its authentic commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Manor.
Unadulterated.
Don't make any boo-boos.
Yeah, as long as you don't
Nor
screw
means
it.
a mistake. Manor.
Manu.
Okay. Don't mess it up.
Don't do it.
Okay. Because there's a big emphasis in Vinaya on doing things right. Or maybe the vows don't form. You see? So maybe you're going to mess them up for the rest of their life. You know, maybe you have to cut it in a certain way. Maybe you have to give them their robes in a certain way. Or maybe maybe they don't get the vows.
No.
Then they'll go through their whole life thinking they have vows and they don't have vows. So everything has to be just so, okay? That's a very big emphasis in Vinaya. It's probably a corruption. You know, Buddha was like, come on, join us. You know? I mean, there wasn't all this, you know, like this, you know. So I think you have to use some common sense, you know. I don't support a very legalistic Vinaya.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I believe the people at Diamond Mountain, for example, those people in 3-year retreat, who did a 3-year retreat, those were real monks. In my mind, those were monks. You see, not someone who wore a purple robe and got some money from a sponsor in Australia and built a big house in the monastery. And you see, you ask me which one's a monk. I'll take the one at Diamond Mountain doing the 3-year retreat in their stupid little cabin.
I love it.
You know, to me that's Vinaya. You see, but you know, to critique Vinaya, you should know Vinaya. Okay, you should know it well, and then you should know when to do this and when to say, okay, go treat people well. Okay, go do a strict retreat. You know.
But
Okay.
we talked to this later when we talked to the business people, and the business
Yeah.
will be a different story.
Well, I still believe that the main emphasis of a monk or a nun should be the feeling of it, not the law. You know, oh, you. There are people who say you're not a monk. Why? You don't have this blue thread here. You know, and I'm like, you know. Okay. It's the intention of the Buddha. It's not, you know, how many inches is this robe and is this cut properly. And, but you should know all those things. To criticize them, you should know them. Okay? It shouldn't look like you're lazy, like you don't know the Vinaya. You should know the Vinaya. You want to know the 13 kakos? I'll give you 13 kakos. Give me the 13 kakos. Did your abbot have kakos? You know, did your Valgyr have the 13 kakos? Do you know the 13 kakos? Does they know? I said, how do you know you're ordained? I can give you the 13 kakos, and I think it's unnecessary. Or I think the feeling is more important. But you should know the 13 kakos. You know, if you're gonna play that game, you should know what it was.
Karkong.
Kakong. Ka. Second column, first column.
Yeah.
Kakong.
Ka.
Okay.
Yeah, which means the filler-uppers. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And it can mean an addendum to a text which completes the meaning of the text. That's the most common usage of kakong. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Jitao Shidchao.
3 minutes, Kesharon.
I feel like I'm being pushed down a line in the airport or
We
something.
could start at 6 next. Starting tomorrow.
Sorry? Yeah. I also don't want to do that. Let's just compress time.
Let's just compress time.
Okay.
What happens to me after this class?
You have to be downstairs to teach.
You get a 15.
I don't like that one because I have to put my socks on. Okay.
You really don't.
Yeah, you really do. I don't know.
Now here's an Here's an important comment about the difference between novice monks and novice nuns. Okay, because we've kind of been wondering, is there a difference in the ceremony? Okay, then he says, Geitsu me dombalembetsu. The ma is feminine. Right? Geitsu means novice monk or nun, and when you say ma, it's definitely nun, novice nun. Okay, so now as for how you take the vows of a female novice, okay, as for how you take novice nun's vows, gyur tembu re matok. Tembu means almost insignificant. Okay. Re means a couple. Gyur means differences.
There's a couple of insignificant.
Yeah, there's matok. This matok means except for. Okay, except for a few minor changes,
It's all the same.
the ceremony for taking the vows is Geitso Jitawashin. It's the same way that you do it with a male. Okay, the ceremony for taking the vows and their kunchu.
All the activities involved.
Yeah, all the way they're supposed to behave. All the way they're supposed to be a nun after they get the vows. So getting the vows and how they're supposed to act after they get the vows, except for a few small differences, come on, it's the same. Okay, it just follows the way that a male should do it. Okay, same. Okay. So let's stop there. Okay. It's not going to be the case with the full monk's vows.
Yeah.
Right. Different
Then
vows.
it kind of divides. Yeah.
So the du chow,
Where was it?
but very
Shindu Jiao.
Oh, do it that way. It's the imperative. Should be done. Is to be done. Future participle. Is to be done. Okay. In the same way. Okay. Cool.
Sashi.
Pugi Jushing Meto Jam Rira Vingshin Yente Gembadi Sange Shingdu Mite Uwargi Tokun Namda Shingla Juparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniyatayami
Kewa.
Di Kewokun Sunam Yeshe Sotsokshing Sunam Yeshe Lejunwe Tambar Kunyi Toparsho. Cool.
By the way, I propose that the next session with Allison, we cover Chijam Rinpoche's one-day vow ceremony.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, it's short.
Cool.
And that's what I'd like you to teach in Thailand.
2 versions.
You should teach the ceremony before they take the ceremony. You see?
So
You're gonna
teach the
teach them-
content and ceremony, but you will give the ceremony.
I'll give the ceremony, but you're going to teach them what's going to happen during the ceremony. I don't believe in giving a ceremony without explaining the ceremony, which is very un-Tibetan. So I think you should know what's going on during the ceremony. So we're going to translate the one-day Mahayana vow, the one-day Bodhisattva. We're going to translate that because we want to take it as a group on Tsongkhapa Day in Thailand.
nice.
So,
Those who wish to take it.
so Geshe is in Tibetan. The file is there a file?
I'll have to get it for you. Yeah.
But it's all in Tibetan or is English?
I think I've translated it before, but let's do it again.
Never have.
Oh, maybe I never
People
have.
ask it for
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh,
Other
okay.
people's.
I've
Let's
given them the
translate it.
FEMT version.
We'll translate it.
Oh,
It's a very beautiful ceremony.
thank you.
Jatashi Tabu, like the flying horse who can read the writer's mind.
Ooh.